Hi, I'm Sam and welcome today to Paul Stephens 911. We're here to drive quite an interesting car that they've just finished working on and it's about to go to the customer pretty soon. Let's get in the car and go for a drive. Oh, let's do my seat. Yeah, that feels pretty good. I can see out the wing mirrors. Cruising off down the road. Things I feel first, the steering wheel, it's nice and dished out towards me. Quite a long clutch, sort of warm it up. Okay, everything feels quite direct. Car feels actually quite supple. I'll have a check in a sec for which mode we're on. I think we're in the softer of the ones. Oh, straight away. I'm sat quite far forward and I've got so much real estate going on. Oh, yes. Brakes feel good. I feel like there's going to be a lot of things I'll just be like, yeah, that's good. Now, this car, I've barely been sort of revving it. It's got a limiter on it at the moment. I think it was like 7.5 and it will go up to 8.5. And I'm just sort of cruising around at the bottom of the revs. But as soon as you get to that point where it comes alive, you can see it on my face. Let's change it down a bit. It's going to take me a little bit of time to get used to the gear shift and the response to the engine, but yeah, what is it? What can you say? I love driving 911s. Oh. Very sort of direct throw on the gear stick. I'd say actually, for me, I would probably prefer the clutch to not quite go so far. Or maybe play with my seating position a little bit, just for my personal setup. But it feels so lovely on this road, and this is in setting 1. So let's go to 5, and it's a bit firmer. Oh, immediately you notice that that's firmer. Okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back. I quite like that. Having that tractive damper system, I'd like to go. Maybe there's someone I should have on the podcast actually, learn to talk about or get them to come on and talk about the way their systems work with the active system, because I think a lot of people look at an active damper system and go, I like the car to be consistent and I want to know how it does everything. But I don't think it's quite like that. Or I think you can set it up exactly how you want. So I'm just cruising around at the low revs. It's funny because the dial is twisted but not twisted, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm not revving it at all, but I'm like right now between sort of 3 and 4. But just the dial is like down there like that. It's quite funny. So yeah, suspension feels really nice and compliant, like really nice and compliant, but not super soft and wafty. You can feel the car sort of rolling a bit and moving. I'm probably going to stop in a minute just to turn the aircon on for a little bit. Okay, first little rip in the 993. I like the size. It's got a decent amount of mod cons. It's got your aircon and stuff like that. I say that's probably not even that mod. That's definitely not that mod. The aircon's been around for a while. It's a warm day. So far, thoughts. It's fun. I love 911s. That noise just gets me deep inside of good Porsche stuff. It's not crazy fast. I've not been right up the revs yet, and I know it's got a bit more, but it's not like crazy fast at all. The way it goes down a road is really nice. You can feel it. So I've got it in the softest setting at the moment, but you can feel the weight move around. It deals with bumps and road imperfections and stuff really nicely. It's a very nice way of cruising around. I've had to have the aircon off at the moment because of recording and stuff like that, but it seemed to blow pretty cold, do the thing. I'm going to get back in the car, go for a little bit more of a drive. The thing about having adjustable suspension on the Switch is you adjust it all the time. I guess if it's your car, you learn your settings and then you go, I'm on 1 for road, 4 for track, 5 for track or whatever, 5 and a twizzle. It's just, I'm just gonna keep twizzling and twizzling and twizzling. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's actually the little details. Every time I touch something like the indicators, the fact they're aluminium is lovely. It's actually, it's not something I've not noticed before, because I don't really remember from the last time I drove one of the Paul Stephens cars, but that in itself, that's worth quite a lot. The sort of perceived quality of the vehicle you're in, because things are aluminium. It's nice. My camera overheated, so I had to stop, pull over and let it cool down. The car's not overheated, and let's throw a few gears. Now we're getting somewhere. I tell you what, you can feel the car. You do not have to commit much in this car to get it moving around. Like, genuinely, not a lot. Which you can then start to feel those tyres just kind of start to go, ooh, ooh. And I've got a lot of camera gear and stuff in here. So I'm not checking anything about. But yeah. So this car, I think it's got 275s on the rear. I think it's like 320 horsepower. And part of me goes, oh, you could chuck another 50 horsepower. They do a 4-litre version, more torque. But actually it's about finding that balance. Tell you what, I do not recommend driving cars with no aircon. It's got aircon, but with the aircon off and the windows up for recording videos. You need to do it because of the sound, but it gets sweaty. So started pushing it a bit harder. And one of the brilliant things I think about the way that they've kept the narrow body shape is you don't have to push it that hard to start to feel the tires start to squidge a little bit move, and you think, if I lift it off here, this could get interesting. And that's quite rewarding. That is actually really rewarding. And like 993, maybe 993 is the one we should all be buying. Putting some stuff on them, tweaking. You can go from, just do the engine, suspension, brakes, or do the interior, make it really nice, all those touch points, all the little details that they do here at Paul Stephens. I don't know. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I did, as you can see from the smile on my face. I love driving 911s. And I've not really driven a modified 993, and this has been very well done. It's not quite finished, still development, still a few styling bits and pieces and whatnot, but thank you very much, Paul Stephens. Like and subscribe, all of that. Go check out my podcast. I sit down with people like Paul and chat about cars and whatnot. And I'll see you guys in the next video.